Well, now we're going to use the law of cosines when all we know are the lengths of the three sides. So all we have are side measures for all three sides in a triangle. And just a quick review again of what our formulas are for the law of cosines. Depending upon what, in this case, when we're doing side, 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 we're actually going to be finding the angle measure. And so if I'm looking to find the measure of angle A, I'm going to have a formula set up of the side length of A squared, have that equal to the side length of B squared plus the side length of C squared minus 2 side length of B and C, negative 2 times B times C. And we're going to solve that for the cosine of A. Now once we get everything where we've got this cosine of A isolated, we're actually going to take the inverse of that to find the angle measure. We've learned about using the inverse cosine to find angle measures before. And again, if I'm looking to find the cosine of angle B, it's B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC. And if I were to need to find the angle of C, it's side C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times the cosine C. So let's go and let's find an angle measure when we know three of the side lengths. So here we got a triangle, and we're asked to find the measure of angle X here to the nearest degree. And the side opposite that angle is 1.9. So let's work on getting our formula set up. I would have 1.9 squared equals 2.1 squared. And I always like to put the largest side first. Doesn't really matter, but I like it that way. Plus 1.3 squared minus 2 times 2.1 times 1.3 times the cosine of X. Well, let's start to solve. So let's see. I'm going to shortcut this just a little bit as we go through, but not a whole lot. All right, 1.9 squared. What does that equal? Well, that's 3.61. And now I'm going to do 2.1 squared plus 1.3 squared. So 2.1 squared plus 1.3 squared. And that equals 6.1. And then we got negative 2 times 2.1 times 1.3. So negative 2 times 2.1 times 1.3. And that equals negative 5.46. Negative 5.46 times the cosine of X, which is what I do not know. Now, I'm going to subtract 6.1 from both sides of this equation. And when I do, I got 3.61 minus 6.1. And that's equal to negative 2.49. And that's now equal to negative 5.46 times the cosine of X. Well, now we can divide both sides by the negative 5.46. And so now we got negative 2.49 over negative 5.46 equals and I'm going to set this up now as the inverse cosine of X. Now I got two negatives dividing each other. That's going to make those both positive. And so now I'm going into my calculator. I'm going to hit second and go to my cosine. So I got the inverse cosine. And I'm just going to simply put in 2.49 divided by 5.46. I should have checked to make sure I was in degree mode and not radian mode. Hopefully I'm in degree mode. I'm getting ready to find out right now. All right, and that comes to 62.86. And if I'm going to round that to the nearest degree, then that means that x is approximately equal to 63 degrees. That deserves a Shazam. All right, let's see. Shall we do one more? Well, of course we should do one more. Again, we're using the law of cosines when we know side, side, side. All right, so here we got, okay, another triangle. And there's the angle that I'm trying to find. And the side opposite that is 3. So let's set up our equation. So I've got 3 squared equals 6.1 squared plus 4.5 squared minus 2 times 6.1 times 4.5. So sorry, looking for 4.5 times the cosine of x. Well, let's start to solve. Well, I know 3 squared is 9. Don't need a calculator for that. Now I'm going to do 6.1 squared plus 4.5 squared. I'm doing that all in one operation. And that comes to 57.46. 57.46. Let me check my work. Yeah, that looks good. All right, now that's negative 2 times 6.1 times 4.5. Negative 2 times 6.1 times 4.5. And that equals negative 54.9. Negative 54.9 times the cosine of x. Let's subtract 57.46 from 9. We're going to subtract from both sides. So we got 9 minus 57.46. And that equals negative 48.46. That's now equal to negative 54.9 times the cosine of x. Well, let's divide the negative 48.46 by the negative 54.9. And when I do, they're both going to turn positive. So I'm just going to write 48.46 over 54.9. And that's going to equal the inverse cosine of x. Using the inverse because I want to find the angle measure. So again, I'm going to second cosine so I can use my inverse cosine function. And I'm going to enter 48.46 divided by 54.9. Close my parentheses off. And I'm going to round this to the nearest degree. It's 28.03. So we're going to round that to 28. And so that x is equal approximately 28 degrees. Now, you know how you get good at this? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. When I practice, I get good at things.